Hi all, I'm sharing my screen. Can you please let me know if you are able to see my screen? Can anyone confirm? Are you able to see my screen? Hello? Hello? So today we will discuss object class. So last time we discussed a string and wrapper class. So this string, wrappers and assertion we completed. Now we will discuss this. The next topic is object class. So what is object class and when to use object class? Object class in Java. So this is the object class which we are using. So while we are creating this object, so object class is the parent of all this. So see here, Java class slash object. Java is object oriented programming, so everything associated with the class and object. So along with this attribute and method. So in real time we have a car is an object. So the car has attribute like a weight, colors, and the methods such as drive, brakes and all. So look like this is we have created a class. So this class inside this main, and we have a variable size int x is there. So while we want to create a object, how we will create? This is the main class integer x, we have a variable. Now main method is there. Now I want to create a class object. So for that, name class name dot object reference name equal to new main, the class name. So like that we can create the object, and based on this reference we can call this non-static variable inside this static method. So most of this situations mostly we are creating an object. So how we will call this object inside this one class to another class and all we will see. So object class is the parent class of all the classes in Java by default. So whatever the object class is there, that is a parent class of Java by default. So this is on topmost class on Java, we can say. The object class, object obj.get object. So this is the object class. For that we are creating the object. So that we see here, we have a object class. So whatever the other classes will be there, that will be inside this child. Others will be the child class of the object class. So always object class will be the parent class. If we'll go here, this example. So we have one default package is there. So inside this default package we have a main public static void main a string argument. So int I equal to 10 is there, system.out.println I. So this I value will be printed because this is local variable, local non-static variable inside this static. So that is fine, directly we can access here. Now we have a main method. So we have app1 is the package, and inside this manager one is there, manager1.java. So we have class A. So this class A have non-static variable I. Now we have a public class manager1, and inside that we have a main method. So main method, then after that we created a object. So object has created. Now a1 equal to a1 is the reference. So a1 dot I, we assign this integer I value as a 10 inside this static method. Based on the reference we can assign non-static variable. If you have defined in other class or inside this same class before this static method, then we have to call by using object reference. So by using call by using object reference, or we can assign the value by using object reference. So this is the a1 dot I equal to 10. Now a2 equal to new a is there, and a1 dot I equal to 20 is there. So this a1 and a2 is, so here a1 dot I and a2 dot I. So a1 and a2 will be 10 and 20. If you print here, so a1 and a2 value will be 10 and 20 in this case. But here we are getting the class name. Class name, why? Because of I is coming from a class, right? So the class name, before that package name dot class at the rate some object is there, some numeric object details came. So this is called, if you are not using two string, in that cases you will get a like this a and b value, because a is the a1 is the object reference of a class, and b1 a2 is the object reference of a class. So this a with will come the class package dot class name at the rate some numeric value. We will see how we will get a proper output in this next program. So this program class B have managers. Inside this we have created b1 new object. So this object has created, and b1 dot I is 10. Now we have a string s equal to b1 dot to string is there. So if you are using the to string, then original output will come. Like if you have assigned b1 dot I equal to 10, the 10 will be the output. If you are not using to string, we already discussed before this to string method inside this string. So return a string representation of the object. So this is object representation. So this, for that, if you want to return this object for this numeric uh, value, in that cases we have to use two string, so that a string will be represented for this, like package name dot class dot at the rate something is there. So for that it will generate a original things, what are original value in this string representations. So the 10 will be printed in this case. Suppose if you are printing s1, then s1 output will be 10. If you are printing b1, then in this case what will happen, we will see this, some numerics will come. So in this case we have a b object created, b1 dot I equal to 10 is there. But here what we are doing, b1 dot to string, and this is a string type. So this string type is s1, and here we have a b1. So this b1 having same thing, and s1 s1 dot, this is the s1. So s1 is coming from b1 dot to string. b1 is the object, so this object dot to string, and here the value is b1 dot I is there. So this value will not be there. So b1 dot I dot to string. So for that also we have a, this will be created like object class based on the package, then class dot at the rate some numeric data will come. If you'll go here from this, so this is the constructor. So class C having variables, and then we have a parameterized constructor. So this parameterized constructor, we have this dot I equal to I. So this dot I means, so there inside the class we can call. So if you want to use this I value, so here we mention this dot I. So I somewhere inside the class is available. So this dot I equal to I means this I value will be coming from this I value. Now we have a manager class. So inside this main method we have a c1 equal to new c, 90 is there. So this 90 is a like a constructor. So this constructor will call once object has created, constructor will call. So this constructor has called here, and this I value is 90. because integer type, so integer type value here, so that will be initialized here as a 90. And then after that, this dot I equal to I. So this dot I means this dot I equal to I. So means this 90 value will be initialized in this integer of I. This dot I means current class of variable will call. This method will call. This keyword is will be used for this current class of variables and all. So this dot I means this I will be called. So I value is 10 now. And then what we have? So C1. Now string S1 equal to C1 dot to string. So C1 value is 10. 90 dot to string, and then string 2 is the address, this in the string double quote, so address, and then C1 value will be printed. And then this is from C1 and then S1 and then S2. So S1 is C1 coming and S2 is coming from this 2. So if you run this program, see we have a 3 SOP is there. One is C1. So C1 is a app1 dot C at the rate some numeric data is coming, and C2 S1 is also same, and then here S2 is a address, so this address, then app1 dot C at the rate some numeric data is coming in this object class. So this is a app1. So inside this app1 we have a class D, this is empty class, and we have a manager class 4. So inside this manager we have a D object created, D1 equal to new D, from this class of D object has created. Now we have a D2 equal to, we are assigning this object, so based on this reference the same object we are assigning in this D2 also. So D1 equal to new D, so this D1 reference we are assigning inside this D2. So D2 also object has created. Now if you will show the output of D1 and D2, so the both have same thing, because app1 is the package name, then class D, so app1 dot class at the rate some numeric the value will be defined, alphanumeric. So in that cases both value will be same, both object value will be same, D1 value also will be same because new keyword D is created, and here we also have same thing, new D, because based on the D1 we are calling this. So in this case this will be the same. So this is the object value. Here we have a app1 class E. So this class E we have a two variables, non-static variable. We created a constructor int I int j, and then we are calling this. So whatever the value will be passed here from the main method, so that will come here, and after that this value will be initialized here. So this dot I, and this dot j, this will refer the current class of variables. So this is a keyword, so which will refer I, and this will be refer from j. So whatever the value will come, this will be initialized in this dot I and this dot j. So here main method, inside this main method we have a e1 equal to new e 10 and 20. So 10 and 20 will be initialized both as numeric, means integer type. So 10 will be here, 20 will be here. This dot I means this I value, integer I value is a 10. This dot j means this j value, non-static j variable. So this value is a 20. Like same we have e2 also, 10 and 20 is there. So if you print this output from e1 and e2 both having same value, e1 is 10, e2 is 10, and we have a different object created. So based on e1 and e2 reference, see here the different some numeric data is a different, this unique data is a different for this. Why? Because of two time object we created, e1 having not some different details will come, and e2 will having some different details will come. F1 dot class at the rate some numeric alphanumeric value will be there. So anything can be. If you make it as a even here, then in that cases we'll have a same output will happen. But even can't be created two times, only this will be the unique. So even and e2 has a different. We will show you like how we will print the exact output here 10 and 20 after this. But here we are checking the object value. What is the object value? So e2 is a one object and e1 is a one object. So what is the exact value? So exact value always will be printed based on the package name dot class name dot at the rate some numeric alphanumeric value. So this is 5 and this is 6. So we have app1, then app1 f integer I. This is a public string to string method. So this is a to string method. One is this is to string method we seen in this string concept, string session. So in this manager 6 we have main method, then we are calling f1 equal to new f. So f1 dot I equal to 10 based on the reference we created f1 dot I 10, because directly we can't call this non-static to a static method. So we created object based on the reference we call f1 dot I equal to 10. Means now 10 we initialize here as f1 is a 10. Now what will happen? Here we have a main public string to a string method. So this one having I. So this I f1 dot I. So I equal to a string type returns will happen. Here we have a string, this to string method is there which is returning a string type. So here return should have some string value. And if you run this program here, what will be the output for this? So here in this case we have a 10. Why 10? If you comment this, and if you run this program, what is the difference here? If we are not using to a string, then after that we are getting a package name dot class name dot at the rate some numeric value, alphanumeric value. Means this is the object value. This is the object value. So f1 is the object we created, for that value is printing. How they are printing? Always with the package name dot class name at the rate something will be there, some unique data. So here in this case, if I want to print f1, this will be printed. If you use to string here, then this will be print the exact value. To string will represent here, see this to string method. So object class is the parent class by default, in other words topmost class in Java. So this will be referred to find this exact to string method, to string in Java. So this is the to string method. To string method return the string representation of the object. If you want a exact string representation for the particular object, then you have to use to string method. So how we will use to string method? So like that, if you have to do like we have a public string to a string. So this I, so whatever the I value has assigned here f1 dot I, this I value will come as a 10 here, and if you run this program, then I value 10 will be printed in this case. See I equal to 10. Now if we'll go for the same program which we seen I and j before, so this I and j is there. Now we have a manager class inside main method. We created the object of G class. So G class is this one, first class. G1 equal to new G. So G1 dot I and G1 dot J is 10, 20, 30 is there. But if you print before this, the two object will be created. If you print this, g1 dot I and g2 dot I. So instead of 10 20 output, we have a g1 only. So g1 dot I, and if you have, so g1 dot I and g2 dot I. So this g2 dot I also, this is same, also g1 is there. So g1. Now if you run, what will be the output? Two times some unique data will be there. See here, the two time this data has been printed, f1 dot g1, this one. And if you use some toString method here, toString method means as public string to a string. So this will be I equal to I value and j equal to j value will be printed, because this is a return as a string type. So a string data plus value, a string data plus value, this returns will be printed. So in this case the exact value will be printed. Why? Because of we are using toString method. So 10, I equal to 10 comma I j equal to 30 will be printed. So if you are using object concept, then directly it won't be uh, use this exact value. For that we need to use a toString. So this is the toString represent the of object. Just a minute. बोलो.
दिखा देना था उसको दूध पिलाएंगे 2 मिनट में दबने लगेंगे तुमको वीडियो था मैंने दूध अभी दिया
हो गया.
हो गया नाश्ता करेंगे चाहिए पियेंगे के साथ नाश्ता कर लिए बच्चा
हो गया ना. गेट हटा के.
हो गया
Now this next program is manager 9. So this is class J. Inside that we have a variables int x, and then we have a main method inside this manager 9. So this main method we are creating the object j1 equal to new j and j1 dot x equal to 200. So based on this reference we have a 200. So j1 will 200, but here what if you will print here j1 dot x equal to 200, so this won't be work. Why? Because of it will come as a object. And then if you want a exact output, in this case we have to use toString method. So public string toString method. So this string type will be represented. So here string s1 dot super dot toString is there. So we already discussed super. So what is supers? Supers will refer, super is a keyword which will be refer immediate parent class of constructors, methods and all. So here s1 string s1 equal to super dot to string method will be called. From where this string class will be called? Because a string have super two strings is there. So for that immediate parent class of constructor will call from a string. Then here s2 is the x, and then in this x the output will come as a 200. Because once the object has created, this will be called, and then s1 is super dot to string and s2 is a x. So x value is 200. So s1 and s2. So what will be the output here? If you run this program, in this case for this j1 app dot j1 object created comma, so this for first one s1 will have the package name dot class name at the rate some alphanumeric values will come, comma s2 have 200, so this will be assigned here. And if you are not using this one, then directly if I am returning j1, so what will be the output in this case? So f1 dot, because this is directly it won't be coming here, because j1 we are printing, j1 dot x is 20 200, but here j1 we are printing, so f1 dot class name j at the rate sum will become, some numeric value will come. So if you want alphanumeric, then you can use a toString. Inside that we can call this exact value, but here s1 is not coming. Why? Because of super dot toString, which is coming from different class. So that's different class also, we have to check this property. So immediate parent class of constructors will be there, or methods. Now if you'll go for this, so we have a class we have a person. See, this is a person class. Inside that we have a requirement of person class should have a name, age, something. So we have put it two variables, non-static variable id string as a name and integer as a age. Now we have a main methods in this main manager 10. So we have a main method, we have a person p equal to new person. So the class person is there, so we have created the object of person class. Now reference is like a p1 is a, this is the object reference. So based on the reference we are calling p1 dot name. So this name we are calling as a abc, and p1 dot age is 22. So if you print this p1 dot age and p1 dot name before to a string, then what will be the output here? Some package name dot class name at the rate some numeric alphanumeric data, right? For this 2 times p1 is there, p1, so name and age will have something will come. Now if you want to use a toString, so in this case what will happen? Public string toString. So in this case what will happen? Public string toString. So a string we define a string as a address, and super dot toString we have we meant, and a string s2 is the state, a state as a name plus name, and age is this one, age. So this name and age we printed in s2. Now we are adding this s1 and s2. So what will be the output in this case? So s1 have this, see here. So here we are printing 2 time SOP, right? So this output will come as a 2 time, but s1 we are calling address plus super dot toString. So some super dot toString means immediate parent class. So in that cases what will happen? We need to check the super class. So for that the same will happen. The class name as a address. Some address is there, right? This is coming from address. This is a string. So this address dot class name is a package name is f1 dot pack class name is a person at the rate something is there for s1, and this is the and s2 is the state name is a abc and age is a 20. So like that, if you want to represent this object original value to print, in that cases we will use toString method. But if you are not using toString method in your project, then by default you will get this type of output. So here we see the class int I equal to 10 is a non-static variable. Then we have a k1 created one object, k2 created one other object. We are checking equals. So equals method, this is double equals. So this is operators. One is dot equals method is there. One is dot equals method in Java and other is dot double equal operator in Java. So these two things are there and both are different. Dot equals and double equals. So double equal will check the reference. So this is the double equals. So this will be to check the reference, and dot equals will check the content inside this value is same or not, and reference is same or not. So here we have a k1 and this is a k2. So both are, this double equals will check the reference. So both reference is not same. So in this case what will happen, the true or false will check because we are checking the conditions. So in this case we'll have a false. If you make here k1 equal to, but directly we can't use here same object reference. So if you, in this case we are just comparing k1 equal to, so in this true will be there because we are checking the reference. So k1 both are same, it means same output will be there, like true will come. And if you are putting as a k2 means the reference is different, then false will be printed. But in dot case we have a equals method. Dot equals method will check the content. If your content is same inside that, see this is dot equals method. So my string is hello, so this is the content. My string 2 is also hello, so my string 1 dot equals to string 2 is checking. So if dot equals having content is same, then it will return true. If content is different, it will return false. But in double equals we'll check the reference. If reference is same, then true or else false. So this is the reference. Dot equals we already discussed. So this is the here. See here we have a S1 object and S2 which is assigning ABC. So S1 equal to S2 is same. S1 dot equals to S2 is true because both having same value. But S1 dot equal to S2 is false. Why? Because of both have different object reference. In this case S1 and S2, ABC is there. So S1 dot equals to S2 true. Why? Because of both having same different value is there but same value inside that. So it's fine. Inside this S1 and S2, so S1 and S2 is false. Why? Because both having different value. Dot equals, and reference always will be false. Why? Because of all references different S1 and S2 is there, like this. So in object mostly we are comparing double equals operators, but in string we are comparing dot equals operator. Now here we have a class L manager 12. So class L have non-static variable, manager 12 have object L1, object dot I equal to 20, object 2 dot new L1. So object dot I equal to 20. Again we have a two object created, object 1 and object 2. So new L and new L, but reference is different. So obj1 I equal to 20, obj2 I equal to 20 is there, but value is same. Now here what we are comparing, obj1 equal to obj2, what will be the output? False. Why? Because of reference is different and the SOP of done will be printed. So this is a false. So double equals we complete. Now here we have a class managers 13 and class M. Class M have non-static variable and one non-static argument constructor, name of the same name of class name, and integer of I passing. Now whatever the value will come inside this constructor, we will assign in this variable int I. So this dot I means refer the current class of variable. So this dot I equal to I. Now we have a main method. We created object. Once the object has created, inside that the constructor will call. So m1 equal to new m90 is there, right? So this 90 will assign here, line number 5, and this dot I equal to I means this dot I means this dot I value will assign as a 90. This 90 will be printed in this I, and m2 equal to new m90. So this dot I equal to 90. So m1 equal to m2. So 90 m1 reference equal to m2. So what will be happen? Double equals always will be the check the reference, no matter whatever inside this, either 90, 20 or anything. Now we have a manager class n1 and n2 object has created. Now this is n3. So in this n3 we are assigning n1 means new n. So like that also we, based on the reference also we can create an object, because once object has created, for that reference we can create another object also. The same we use in line number 12. Now these all we are comparing. So what will be the output for this? Can anyone confirm? 13, 14, 15, 16. What will be the output? N1 equal to N2 means both are different reference, false. N2 equal to N3, both are different reference, false. N3 equal to N1, both are having same reference, because why? N3 is also referring new N1, new N, and N1 is also referring same. So always N3 and N1 will be the same. But here N1 N2 is not same. N2 N3 is not same, but N3 equal to N1 is there. So both having same, so it will be true for that. Because N3 also using same N1 object, and N1 also have same, and the new object is there. So like that, if you use, then double equals will be check these conditions of N3 equal to N1 is true. Now we have a string inside this O class, and then we have a main method inside this manager class. So once the object we are creating, so object is created from the O class, O, O1 or anything, reference O, BL something equal to new O. Now based on the reference, we assign this string value S1. So BAL dot S1 equal to this. Again we created new object BAL2 dot S2 equal to this. Now we have again object has created BAL3 equal to, we are taking this reference only, object BAL1 object. So BAL1 and BAL3 will be same. So in this case we are checking just a reference. So reference will be same for that, BL3 and BL1, and others will have a false. See this. Now we'll go for the next. Just we are checking like how we will create an object, how we will use a to a string to represent the object, and how we can create the object from one object created to based on the reference to another object by using that. So we have a class P inside this variables, non-static variables. Then we have this constructor with the class name, and this is parameterized constructor. Now here whatever the value will assign, that we have to use inside this. So this dot I equal to I, so this will refer the current class. We have a manager 16. So this manager 16 have P1 equal to new P, which is constructor is there. So here we make as a integer type of 100. So that will be assigned in this. Once the object has created, constructor will call, right? So line number 50 will be executed once the object has created. So we passed 100, so this 100 will come here, and this 100 will come here. And this dot I means this I. This dot I means this I will assign as 100. I value is assigned as 100. Like that we have a two objects, second object 100, and then P3 equal to P1. So P1 and P3 will be same always. So P1, P2, P3, P2, we are checking this compare, and see here P1 dot I we are checking in this case. P1 dot I equal to P2 dot I. So P1 dot I is value is 100 and P2 dot I value is 100. In that case we are not checking the reference, we are checking the value of P1 dot I value. So in that case what will be the output? This. Both having true. P1 and P3 is same, and P1 dot I is 100 and equal to 100. Means true will be the output for that. Others will have a false. Now this is boolean flag, default is false here. Then we have a object created of the 17. Object has created q1 dot false as a true. Means based on the reference we are calling this boolean q1 dot false as a true, and based on the second reference object q2 dot false equal to true. Both is true we assign as a false to true. Now here we are checking q1 equal to q2, so this is checking as a reference will be false. Here we are checking q2 dot false value and q2 dot false value is a true means true. Now here we have a double. So here we have a double. So double x dot double 10.90 and double d2 10.90 is there. So we have created two double d1 and d2. Now just we are comparing d1 and equal to d2. So both we will see what will be the output. Both having same value, right? d1 and d2. Here we have a true and true. Why? Because of this is not a object, this is just a reference variables. Based on the reference we are checking this both variable having same or not. So both variable having same numbers 10.90 10.90 is true, and q1 dot false flag is a q1 dot flag is a true and q2 dot flag is also true. So this one, and then boolean flag as a q1 and q2 will be false because both having different reference. Now here we have a class R having I, then int I, this dot I equal to I. So here we are assigning
Recording in progress.
sorry, there was some internet issue. So now again I am sharing my screen. So this is manager 18. So this manager 18 having R1 and R2. So R1 having new R90 is there. So this 90 will be assigned once the object has created, constructor will call. So this is parameterized constructor. So this is parameterized constructor, single parameterized constructor, integer type of constructor will call. So this dot I will be assigned as a 90 two times because R1 and R2. Now we are checking R1 R2. So both are different, and then here we are checking the value R1 dot I and R2 dot I. So this having same value, so this will be, and now here we are checking R1 dot equals. So this equals means equals method we are using. So R1 dot equals R2. So dot equals always will check the content. So for that cases, what is the content? 90 is there, R1 dot equals R2, 90 is there. So 90 is true. So if you check in that case, double equals value and then dot equals. What is the difference of double equals? Then R1 dot I and R2 dot I, and R1 dot equals to R2, R1 equal to R2. So for that r1 equal to r2 is false. R1 dot I equal to R2 dot I is 90 90. But here R1 dot equals to R2. R1 dot equals to R2. Not equal to R2 is false. Okay. So this should be true. Why is false? R1 is 90 and R2 is also 90. So dot equals will check the content, but okay, just a minute, we'll see here in this case. So here we have a 19, this one S1 19.0, S2 is 19.0. It's a boolean double type, so we sign this double, and we have a constructor also as double. So this dot j we are printing, so this dot j is a j, so double value this 19.0 will be assigned here. So once the object has created, this will be called constructor. So S1 and S2, and S3 is look like a same of S2. So S3 and S2 always will be the same, but S1 S2 is different, so false. S2 and S3 is same, is a true, and S3 and S1 will be false. And here we have a equals, so that S1 dot equals S2 and S2 dot equals and S3 dot equals. So equals will check the content. So first is false is fine, second is true is fine, third is false is fine, fourth is false. S1 dot equals to S2 because both having different reference, so that in that case equals will false. And S2 dot equals to S3 equal to true, there because of S2 and S3 is referring the same object, so in that cases dot equals will work. And then S3 dot equals to S1, so S3 dot equals to S1 as in different reference, so in that cases dot equals won't work, and then by default will be the false. But if you'll go for the string, in that case a string will check the content, and content is same, then always should be the true in a string concept. Here we have a, this is a equals method. So this equals method, they are checking the object like, okay, so we have integer I, non-static variable integer I. We have a constructor inside this int I, and this dot I equal to I, so this I value will be assigned here. Then we have a public boolean equals, equal to object obj. So we will see like what is equals method doing here. But the managers 20, we have a main method. This main method we created object t1 equal to new t 989. So once the object has created, this constructor will call, right? So this constructor will call, so int I has a 90, 89 as assigned, SE9. This dot I means this value has assigned as a 89 now. This dot I equal to I. So 89 will be assigned from this dot I, and this dot I is nothing but this integer I. So now 89, and here we are checking t1 dot equals to t2. t1 dot I equal to t2. t1 is equal to this one, t1 dot I, t1 dot equals to t2. So t1 here as a 89 and t2 equal to, so in that cases we are calling dot, right? So see here, we are calling some dot equals. So this is a method here. Dot equals is a method where we assign t2, right? So this dot equals will call this method because we already having here dot equals method. So this is boolean type of dot equals method. It will return either true or false. Now what we are checking here, object we are checking. So this object is the parent class, right, of all the objects. So this we have two object, one object and two objects. This is two t2 type object which is coming from class T. This is t1 type object which is coming from class T, because new T we created, right? And this is the object class. Object class is the parent class of all the class t1 t2 in this case. So if you have referred this obj, then either you can call this object class t1 or t2. So here what we are doing, equals method is there, so this method will call, and this obj will come here. So this t1 equal to t. So this obj, whatever the object is there, this obj will come here. Obj, so this obj is coming here, and this is we are converting from t1 equal to obj. So this obj we are doing here typecasting. So what type of obj will be there? So this is t type of. So here we mention as a t type class T, and this is a t1 object. So t1 is a new t89, right? Now this t1, so the returning we are doing I equal to t1 dot I. So t1 dot I. So this t1 dot I means this t1 and then I. So if you run this program, we will see here true here. So in that case, t1 dot I. So we are t1 dot equals to t2. So here t2 as a this one, and then this object has been called here, and this object is a t1 dot I. So this t1 dot I equal to 90. So I equal to 19, 89, 89. Yeah, so what will happen here, we have a two object created, 89 and 89. Now we are doing t1 dot equals to t2. So this is dot equals method. Whatever we seen before we seen a dot equals method is there, right? But we seen here false value. Why? Because of we are not calling any dot equals method, and then we are checking. But in this case, if you seen here also, we seen a dot equals method showing false. Why? Because of we have not created in dot equals method. But now in this case we have a dot equals method, and here we created dot equals method, and in that we are doing some operations either true or false. So how? This dot equals method, we have t2. So t2 value is 89. So this 89 will be assigned here as the object, obj object. So this is a, and now we have a, this object we have created t1 equal to object. So this is t type. So we have casting we added as a t type of class. We have this object we are calling in this t1. So t1 dot I is 89. So 89 will come here, and this will check I value. So I, this one dot I was 89 equal to 89 is true. So this will be as a true one. So t1 dot t2. here T2 will assign as a 89 from here. So this value as a true means this will T1 dot equals to T2 as a true will be the output in that. Like that, if you'll see here, we have a 90.89, 90.89 U1 and U2. Now what we are checking, U1 dot equals to. So dot equals method is there. So this method object and here boolean type of flag. So this boolean type of flag we are converting from U type. So obj dot j equal to this dot j. So this dot j means refer the current class. So obj dot j means this value equal to this dot j means this value, this one. So is same, if same, then flags will be printed either true or false, and then we will compare u1 dot equals to u2. So both having same data, right? 19.89, 19.89. So here the output will be true by default, boolean false as a flag, boolean flag as a false true. So this true will come here, and u1 dot equals to u2 will be shown as a true. Like that we are calling, like how we will create an object and how it will be called each other. So this is the program of manager 22. You can check the output, what will be the output for that and how we are calling. So we have created two object v1 v2. Now we are checking the equals. So if you will without use this one, then you will get a false. But if you are using this equals method, so equals method will refer the object, and object where we are assigning v1, and then here we are checking some flag, either I equal to v1 dot I, and I some conditions we added, j equal to v1 dot j value. If then either true or false, then this flags will return, and here it will be print. So line manager 23, 22 and 23 and 24 will be the task to check the output. What will be the output for this? And this one is the last program. Here mostly we are comparing the objects and all. So mostly we use equals, double and dots to strings and all, how we will represent the object to a string. So this will be the task, like to check the output for these three programs, and then tomorrow we will continue uh, some other object class. We have others also app too. So this we will continue tomorrow. So how we are calling multiple class and how we are creating a multiple object from the different class.